You guys are inside of like a little crypt here. You had passed through about like 15 or 20 of these like slots into the wall to the south of where you're at. And then you got to like this little bit of a circular room that you are kind of currently in. There seems to be a more roughly cut tunnel that kind of passes through it west to east, or more properly here, like southwest to southeast. And this temple area is kind of like a circle that still has some of these slotted kind of little crypts with bones kind of set into them. Though there's many less in that one, it almost radiates around the circle itself. I think for where you are at, Faint and Kansas can see that there's a path to the southeast where the ogre has come from. I don't think it's too much to say that Ezekiel realistically recognizes that there's a path to the southeast as well, because the ogre was the last one to come. Ezekiel came from that western route along the river, or the frozen stream, rather, that you've basically followed from Good Mead to get to this cave system. Ezekiel, in particular, could probably see at this point that there is more to this circular little area, as well as stairs along the north side of it. You are basically standing over the corpse of a giant human, corpse of the giant polar bear, and the ogre. What would you all like to do?
I myself reminder was to loot everything, so I'm going to abide by that. I'm going to start rummaging through, because originally when I was coming in, there was loads of dead bodies that were like skeletal in all like the little alcoves. So I'm going to start rummaging through those. I don't know if somebody wants to loot the bodies of what we just killed, but I'm going to loot because that's something that we never do is loot. So
I think you already checked those bodies, and I told you there's pretty sufficiently there, just bones. There's nothing
uh,
much for you to find inside of that like central area.
all right, I'll start looting the ogre then. If somebody wants to loot the, I guess the polar bear and the guy.
Yeah, I'll just kind of look around for anything particularly like valuable.
He's clearly using a weapon and a shield, wasn't he, as well? So that could be worth something.
Yeah, I mean, you can do an investigation for me.
Doing the ogre, if that's all right. A 12 for the ogre.
I think as far as looking over an ogre, he's got a loincloth. Probably don't want to touch that. It's probably not terribly lacking in being well soiled. And more or less looks like he's carrying a tree of sorts. He's a pretty simple creature. Doesn't really have anything especially nice.
Can I do like perception to see like if I see any like valuables around or anything? Anything catches my eye?
Yeah, I mean, if you're just trying to look, you can do a perception.
Yeah, I feel like with investigation, like that was kind of where we got ourselves into trouble with that stupid cauldron. Because I feel like if we were doing perception, it would have been like more open to finding something that looks valuable. As where with like investigation, it's like we're looking specifically for something. But that might just be in my head.
When you guys describe what you are doing, that tells me what you are going to find out. When I described the cauldron over and over again, and everybody spent every moment they could trying to ignore it because they thought human remains were inside of it, that told me you guys were not paying attention to the cauldron.
Well, that's the difference between investigation and perception. Perception is looking around for something like catch your eye that might be valuable, as where investigation is like digging through someone's pockets, like looking at their stuff. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
but I don't disagree. But part of my point is the way you guys describe stuff sets DCs. If you ask to do something, it's a high DC. If you describe what you're doing, it lowers the DC. But what you do also changes what you can find. So, like, looking around is different than actually going through somebody's pockets or going through somebody's stuff.
All right.
In general, you're going to see pretty simple setup. He seems to be wearing like holding a shield and a spear. And there seems to be an extra set of boots that are not his size right next to him. And it seems like he was sitting here with a stone knife and kind of a flatter piece of stone, which was the sound. I guess you're still a wolf, but still, it was the sound that Kansas had been hearing. He'd been sharpening this knife with those little.
All right, I'll check out the boots, and then the weapons. I'm assuming the sword or the spear and the shield are like gigantic. Is the knife like the size of a sword, or what's the deal with that?
Knife and those boots are pretty much human sized.
All right, I'll grab them and check them out later on.
As a wolf, can I smell anything interesting?
I mean, this place reeks of smells, so I don't know. What are you trying to smell that's interesting? Do you want to pee on something? Is that what you're getting at?
No. I mean, there were sheep before. I don't know.
Yep, you can definitely still smell sheep and goats. It's kind of hard to smell a lot of things over the smell of the ogre, though.
We kill all those sheep and goats, we'll have so much meat.
If only there was some natural way to preserve meat.
Can't think of anything.
So I still have the tip of my spear lit up at this point in time. I'm gonna just say to I guess like Faint and the random wolf, I can light the way if you don't mind digging through the corpse's pockets. Perhaps there are some valuables, some payment for our tasks.
Yeah, right, I'm up for that, if you want to give it a go. But I'm not really the most perceptive person. Or investigatory.
Is your general idea to spend more time searching through these corpses right now? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, I'm going to leave the ogre alone, but I'm going to rummage through this guy's pockets.
There's nothing left. He doesn't have anything on him besides what you guys see right away. He's got ruined leather armor, a damaged shield, and a damaged spear right now. There's a torch on the ground. I think he's now picked up the knife and basically the knife sharpening stone. Roll an intelligence for me, Fate.
Eight.
You don't see any bed or any reason to think that this is this guy's living quarters.
Alright, then I guess we should go further in.
Yes, I agree. There is much more to this cave, and he did mention perhaps if we could recover the ale or any other valuables that they would appreciate it.
Well, I'm sure they're going to appreciate all this meat.
So since I've seen a sheep and a polar bear, right? I'm adding these to my list of things I can be.
Yeah,
Indeed.
you're not going to be able to be a polar bear for a while, though, I don't think. Goat as
Oh,
well.
right. That's a good point.
Have you actually selected your subclass? I feel like you have. Yeah, you went with the shepherd. Or, my bad, circle of land. Realistically, yeah, you'll never be able to become a cave bear, which is what the polar bear is.
All right, I'll take it off my list.
You don't have to take it off your list, but there's a lot of things that you just won't be able to get high enough CR to be. So it's just one of those vague things that to kind of keep in mind. Seeing a lot of stuff is much more important for Circle of the Moon.
Plus, bear in mind, we probably won't make it past level 6, so.
I'm not going to make it past level 4.
Ah, yes, positive attitudes. Excellent.
Well, our PB is currently level 7. That's to beat.
Or
But
what?
I'm gonna personal best. But I'm gonna, I guess, should we head up those stairs around the back?
Sounds good to me. There appears to be a couple of ways to go, so I'm not opposed to one over the other.
Maybe we can check the whole place out, but it's a good place to start, right?
So as you start to wander off towards the north, you see the stairs that kind of edge up about 5 or 10 feet above the level that you're on. And you see the walls seem to be pretty smooth, finished in a vague square. And as you approach, there seems to be some sort of rectangle in the center that as well seems to be pretty smooth stone.
Just gonna keep on moving in. Although, Ezekiel, if you could share some light, that'd be great. I know I can see all right in the dark, but a bit of light always helps, right?
Of course. I'll hold my spear out in front so I would light up the way.
Are you hopping off the elk to go with them? The elk is too large to move around.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll be wait here, Moose. I will be back shortly.
I think it might need Kansas to tell it that.
What?
So it's your moose. So as you start to move up, you see that this seems to be a stone sarcophagus, roughly about 3 or so feet off the ground, or 3 or so feet high, with a large, probably 8 or so inch tall stone that sits across the top of it. And you see that there's basically rough cut stairs that pass from a left cave system to a right, or rather a western cave system to an eastern cave system.
Which of the two entrance/exits looks big? Well, the bigger of the two? Is the one to the west?
I think size-wise they're the same. They're human size.
Okay. So I'm guessing this wasn't this big guy's living quarters then. So this sarcophagus in the middle then, does it look like it's got a lid on it?
Yep, that's the 8 or so inch thick stone structure on it.
Hey, Bony Boy, how about you and me lift this lid off? And Kansas, if you want to be ready in case any weird shit pops out of it, that might be a good idea.
I'm not sure what you're hoping to find, but I suppose I can help you. Perhaps a tool would be more useful, a crowbar or something?
What about that guy's big spear? Jam it in there and then Kansas and I could stand on it.
Of course. I don't suppose one of you happens to have a crowbar, though. It could be useful.
Don't think I do, let me check. I do. Crowbar it is. I'll stick the curved end of the crowbar into the lid, and then using some lever action, start pulling on the other end.
It doesn't budge in the least bit.
So, how does gear work? Is my gear just part of me somehow, or what?
It no longer exists. It is indeed a part of you.
So then when I go back to human, the stuff will magically reappear.
Indeed. The other option is when you turn into a wolf, you can just lose all of your gear.
No, I don't want to lose all my gear, but I have a crowbar somewhere in there, which is random, but it came with the adventuring kit.
It's part of you now. So maybe we could try and smash the lid open?
Well, if you didn't even like do a check, I get the impression that it's like not possible to open it.
Yeah, but if we're not trying to open it, we're trying to smash it to pieces. That's different, right?
What do you have in mind that you would smash it with?
Well, we got our massive spear still. We could always, two of us could try and swing it down on it.
When I describe it as a spear, it's because that thing is a spear. It's nothing special because he was a giant.
Oh, okay.
Think of it as a javelin for him. It's a spear for you.
You had mentioned previously that you have some climbing gear, do you not? A small hammer and perhaps one of those spikes could crack it apart.
Yeah, it's a good call. Give that a go. And pull out the piton on the hammer and just like what, put it in the middle and just start whacking away at it with the hammer.
You get the feeling you could spend a few hours breaking into this with a piton and hammer.
It's taken longer than I thought. Is it worth our while, or should we maybe come back to it? Check out the rest of the cave, but
I don't think that that would be a bad idea to look around first, make sure there's no more danger before making too much noise, spending too much time.
is there anything else in this room apart from the sarcophagus?
2 exits to the north or to the west and to the east.
Yeah, I got that. I just mean, is it just literally sarcophagus and smooth walls? Is it?
Yep, just a square room.
All right. Well, maybe we should try to the west first, because I'm pretty sure that river we walked past comes up this way. So might be good to box off this route first.
So all 3 of you heading into that western room?
Sure. Yeah, I can go up front with the light.
So as you guys move into that area, you see a larger kind of cave terminus in this area. You see signs of where the stream once came from, and inside of the frozen stream, you see a human who seems to be kind of reaching out.
Like a living human, a frozen human, a dead human.
They're frozen inside of a river. You want to... I mean, I don't feel like you need to do any check to realize that if somebody is frozen in ice, they are not living.
I don't know. Those other things came after us and they were frozen, but I guess they weren't really living.
Plus Walt
What-
Disney.
What other things?
The giants and stuff from before, they were like frozen. You said, they're kind of skeletal and stuff.
Yeah, they were frozen beneath the ice, and we never interacted with them. It was just one of them that was out, that was like undead.
Yeah, the ones who were in the frozen river never moved because they were in a frozen block of ice. The one that was not in the frozen block of ice spent 2 turns smashing out of the ice that was around its legs before it tried to kill you.
So is this dead guy like half submerged, like 90% submerged, 5% submerged?
When I say he is in the ice, he is 100% in that pool.
What about off to the west side of the alcove? Is there anything in there?
I think you'd probably see signs of that's where the bear was more likely to lay. There might be like little tufts of its hair and like signs that like snow had been kind of pushed up from its body weight.
Fair enough. So I guess there's nothing around this part of it. I guess we go to the eastern side then and see if there's anything that way. Let's move on through.
So moving down that eastern cavern, before you actually come out of those stairs, you're actually going to almost get like tripped up in kind of a hammock that kind of crosses across that area. And it's just kind of a netting that seems to be strung across that area. There's a little bit of random stuff inside of there. Probably the first thing that'll jump out at you is that there seems to be like a rabbit fur kind of wrapped up in there. But there otherwise seems to be some things that are kind of wrapped up in leather, but more or less it looks like a little bit of a storage little hammock there. And then once you come through that initial area, you are going to see signs of refuse of the ogre. That same stench will be quite prominent. And when you investigate those barrels to the south there, you will see that 2 of those are full, 1 of them is empty.
Well, looks like we found our missing ale then. Or mead.
I'm gonna go look at the rabbit fur.
Are you still a wolf?
Yeah, it seems like a wolf thing to do.
Smells like rabbit. Smells a little bit weird. It's definitely tanned leather. It is not like a fresh fur.
Hey, Kansas, I know you're a wolf, but is there anything wrapped up in that fur? Well, inside of the fur?
Is there?
I'll go over and help us sift through it.
Within, you are going to find a small stone that's kind of like a green and I think pink. A couple of silvered sling bullets, and some, I think, a small bag with. Do an intelligence check. Wait, was that intelligence? Did you roll it that quick?
No, that was previously.
All right, gotcha. It's probably got like 300 or so coins in that little bag.
How much, sorry?
About 300 or so coins.
And what type of coin are they?
You gonna spend the time to count them?
Well, what color are they for a start?
That is me telling you that if you lift up the bag, it probably weighs about enough to have 300 coins in it.
Oh, okay, I'll just open it up and peer into it rather than counting it out.
Mostly copper.
Okay, I'll just put that there for now, but we'll sort that out in a bit. But yeah, I'll take it all. Something here, guys. I guess this is part way towards payment. And we found our mead, so I think between this stuff and all the animals, it might be worth us telling them where it is and maybe bringing people with us to help bring it back, because I don't think we can carry all this in one go, and I don't think we can have that good of a time shepherding that many animals back. Do you?
I suppose that if we were to head back before the morning, perhaps we could use some rope and fashion the kegs onto the elk. It is a large beast. I'm not sure how much it can carry, but proportionately, it seems viable.
Well, it carried you, and you weigh like what, 6 full kegs?
I'm not sure the human to keg ratio, to tell you the truth, but
I thought that's what kgs were, kegs. Is anything else in this room stand out? I know we checked the fur, we found that, and you said there was other miscellaneous loose items. Anything that would pique my interest to search through?
Do an investigation. I think if both of you could pick up a keg, so you know that they're roughly under, like, I think your maximums are like 300 pounds.
Ah, yes, pounds. The measurement system I don't understand.
You see a hunting trap. You could take that. It's about 25 pounds. But it's at least got some value simply in the metal, if not to one of the hunters, who I think you might be at least understanding that it could just be Leaf's hunting trap. Or wait, Fife. I think his name was Fife, not Leaf.
we can look around a little bit more, see if there's anything more valuable, and if not, we can take what we are able to, and then we can alert the townspeople of what we have left behind, should they choose to pursue it. So I think I'll like keep heading to the what's that north east up there.
Yeah, like the main part of that little system approaches from the northeast there. You can clearly tell that the thing you guys have walked through is not a part of what those giants would use regularly. So you just kind of see that it hooks around to the east and then starts to approach south. And then eventually you're going to come around to where you see and hear the goats to the south of you. You guys will come upon another area of some supplies, a burned out and effectively simply like ember fire.
Just have a rummage through some of these supplies, see if there's anything useful.
Yeah,
do another investigation.
I was gonna say I'll just walk around with the spear and kind of see if anything catches my eye, places to look or valuables or anything.
Yeah, 17.
You can do a perception.
So I like get an hour as a wolf, right? And then like twice a day.
I'm pretty sure. I think it's a quarter of your druid level is an hour.
All right, I'm gonna turn back into a gnome because I don't want to scare the animals.
I think going through things, Ezekiel can pretty easily tell that these crates and things are all from Bryn Shindar. They all have the crest of the city on high and the name kind of burnt into their sides. And then Faint would be able to, opening up all of these different crates and chests, see that I think it's probably like 2 barrels of salt and then a crate of flour and a crate of rice. These are all kind of trade supplies.
So it looks like he's been taking stuff from quite a few different places.
Yes, they have been likely ambushing travelers on the road or hunting them and bringing their loot here. Scavengers of sorts. Quite a few animals, though. Appears they have some skills to keep them alive and tend to them. I wonder if there is a way that we could secure them and herd them back to the town.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I'm not really skilled in shepherding, but you know, we either take them back ourselves and get loads of pats on the back and maybe some money, or we tell them that they're here and they can sort out the problem of losing some on the way.
Well, there is a cart here. I wonder if we could load it up with some of the goods and take them with us in a convenient way. Between the elk and not sure what supplies you have, but I have the grappling hook and about 50 feet of rope. We could perhaps tie around a few of these animals and lead them back in a chain.
Yeah,
Moving over to the cart, you see that one of the wheels is broken off.
Hey, I don't suppose you can turn into a wheel.
No, not a live animal thing.
Like looking over the wheel, what does it appear is like the problem? Is it like a broken axle? Is the actual wheel broken? Like what's the deal?
Broken axle.
Okay, I'll just kind of like give me a hand here. It appears like the axle has been damaged, but perhaps I can take a closer look. And like I'll try to get them to come over and help me like tilt the cart or like get better access to the axle so I can see it a little better.
Yeah, I'll roll the salt barrel along and use that as like a jack.
I'll like start saying like a little prayer and kind of like holding up my holy symbol to it and start like moving my hands around. And I'm gonna cast mending on the broken axle.
Nice.
It says as long as the break or tear is no larger than 1 foot in any dimension, you mend it, leaving no trace of former damage.
Yeah, I feel like that's viable enough.
Good as new. That should help us get some things back.
Very impressive. Looks like we're all getting some tricks we can use in certain situations.
Of course, it's not always the most useful of spells, but in the right occasion can be of great use. So like we'll just kind of tilt the cart back, and then I guess just start loading things up, or I guess maybe we'll open up the crates and see, which ones seem most valuable to bring back.
Well, there's one of flour and one of rice, isn't there? And then a barrel of salt. So, and then we've got the kegs of ale or mead.
Yeah, I think the mead is certainly the most valuable, and that'll probably fill up that wagon. And then the other things are also not from Good Mead, so
I'm sure they'd appreciate the rice though.
Well, depending what resources we have, we could, if the rice is like in bags or something like that, we could maybe like put some on the elk or like on top of the mead or on some of the other animals. Do you guys have any rope on you?
Yeah, I got 50 feet.
I think we could sort of fashion a collar, so to speak, around each of these animals and a couple feet of rope from one to the next. Sort of a daisy chain of goats and sheep. Should be able to, with my 50 feet and yours, perhaps if Kansas has some as well, maybe we can get them back.
Yeah, it's worth a try. See how many of them we can get. I'm sure we can probably get all of them. How many is there? 13.
The real question is, should we prepare for departure today, prepare everything and go, or try and stay the night and have a crack at the old tomb up there? I would imagine that getting these creatures and ourselves home safely would be priority, and then should we or someone else choose, they could investigate the sarcophagus.
Yeah, I think it's probably good. I mean, we've only got the elk for today, and we'll need that to get the cart back. So
let me get a group intelligence. I feel like just don't roll a 1. Yeah, so I think maximizing the load that you guys could take, you could rig up the barrels kind of over the elk as kind of like a saddle, where you have like one barrel on its left side, one barrel on its right side, with 150-foot rope, without cutting them. And then have it rigged up to the cart, And then you could use the other 2 ropes to tie the daisy chain of the goats and sheep. And that would give them about like 4 or 5 feet of distance between them, so they're not, kind of head to ass. I feel like that's still head to ass, but still, it gives them something.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
This sounds like a good idea. We'll load everything up and then create a giant goat and sheep centipede.
And that would give you the choice then of what to put inside of the actual wagon from Good Mead. Or rather, from Brinchindar. Faint as you look off on the east side there, you do see that the cave system goes up into the north and seems to turn around to the southeast.
I'm just going to check this out first, guys, before we go, because there's a little bit undiscovered so far.
All right.
I will go with you, my friend. We should stick together for now. So I'll just creep up there with him.
You see that there is a trash and refuse pit off on the north, and then there is a exit to the cavern out to the southeast.
I'm guessing there's nothing of any value of any kind in the pit.
Do you want to jump in and see?
Absolutely not.
So they had 2 entrances?
They did indeed. They kind of have 4 entrances.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's kind of more like that. It's drafty in the winter.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. We aren't going to get that sarcophagus open, but I feel like we need to make tracks, don't we, really? I mean, how long have we got left of the day?
Do an intelligence check.
5.
Heading outside, you do indeed still see the aurora. It's hard to tell what time it might be. But you're pretty well on through this day. You guys started this day when you woke up, and you probably traveled for a solid day to get here. So
Maybe we should just get going then before we lose the elk.
Right. Well, it'll take quite a while to get these animals back.
All right, so let's go about loading up the elk with the kegs, put the crates and the salt if we can in the wagon, and then tie up the animals ready to come along with us.
crates of the salt. You guys are picking basically whether you're doing the other kegs or those crates.
All right, so we have to basically choose between 2 barrels of mead in addition to the 2 that are there already, or the crates. Is that right?
No, salt or flour or rice.
I vote rice then.
Salt's important, but the water's all salty, right? Like around us?
It's fresh water.
Oh, then we should take the salt.
Why don't you take a few pockets full of salt?
Yes, I must agree with Faint on this one. Considering our current location, I would imagine that it's probably difficult to secure any sort of plant-based food or life.
I might need the rice to feed the animals as well. I just start loading the rice into the cart then. You guys want to do the animals while I'm doing this?
Yeah, I can start like fashioning up the animals or whatever, loading the kegs, whatever. It doesn't matter what order or whatever.
Right, I'll help tie up animals. Hope they don't trample me.
A goat definitely is going to stand on top of you at some point.
I will back out of the pen then.
It's still on top of you. It's got great balance.
I will poke at it and make it leave.
It's still standing on top of you. Doesn't even notice you're poking it. So when you guys are all set, you can start to leave this place.
Okay, so just to recap, how many kegs of ale is it? We got 2, is it?
2. Yep.
Okay, 2 kegs of ale and a crate of salt, 13 animals, and yep, the knife and stuff.
So you're tracking this?
Yeah, it's just more for me, but yeah. So we also got the green and pink stone, a silver sling round, and a bag of copper coins. And I've got a hold of those 3 things for now. Right, let's head out.
Sounds good to me. I think now is as good a time as any to depart.
Sure, let's go back out into that blizzard that is sure to be there.
I was watching Critical Role the other day, and they had a ranger with them at one point who had the ability to no longer be able to get lost in blizzards and shit. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Rangers are around for survival. That's what they do.
And not combat, as it seems, because they seem shite.
They fix them with trashes.
They're what, trashers?
Yep, trashes, cauldron of burning trash fire.
Oh,
About the only thing that it did good was fixing rangers.
what would they do to fix them?
Among other things, it was taking away. I feel like they changed the bonus action for the Beastmaster to actually control its beast, so it can actually function as a 2-part combo. And then they gave them innate spells to add to their list. I feel like, I don't know in particular. I have next to no interest in playing Rangers, but I do know that it did like a lot to actually fix a lot of their problems. But those like added spell lists, a lot of those were kind of the ways that they were trying to fix subclasses. When y'all go to leave, which way are you taking your little wagon train?
What direction is the town in?
You guys followed that stream.
Then that's what we use to get back.
So as you all start to leave the cavern tunnel, you're going to see another one of these giants. And it is a female this time. And she is walking up the stream and is going to encounter you all at the edge of the cave system. Who are you? What have you done to Da?
Ah, is that a name? It feels like that's just part of a word. Sorry, is that the name of the guy in there, the big guy?
Where is he?
Well, he's in there technically. Hi, who are you?
Roll a deception.
6.
When you say that, she is going to start running towards all of you.
I'll just fling a psionic dagger at her then.
Roll for initiative.
What's she appear to have, like, equipment-wise, like, glancing at her?
More or less, you see a gigantic human who's wearing a leather armor set, has a shield and spears.
Are the, like, spears that the first giant had, like, just regular spears, like, that I can take and, like, add to my spear collection? Or are they, like, giant spears?
Oh, that's what I was saying. Like, effectively for them, it's like they're carrying a javelin, but for you, it's a spear. It is a spear when I say it's a spear. So yes, you can definitely take extra spears. I think he had a total of 3 on him.
Yeah, when you say, like, a giant with a spear, like, I naturally just picture a giant with a giant spear and shield.
No, there's really no delineation for size for a lot of things. Every once in a while, something says this is specifically for this sized creature. So I would say when these things have a spear, it is purely that they are using that stat block. Son of a bitch.
All right. Can I shoot a short bow at it, or am I supposed to be loading it first, or whatever?
I mean, you guys are in initiative, so on your turn, you will certainly be able to. I assume you don't carry your short bow unloaded. Well, it's going to start with you. What would you like to do, Kansas?
Shoot the short bow at it.
Get a solid hit into her.
I'm gonna guess it doesn't do much good. So she's just got a spear, right? I'm gonna get hurt doing this. Wait, I can turn into something. I guess I can't do that that would have to actually be an action. All right, so I've got bark skin. Let's go over this again. Do I do bark skin and then it continues as an animal form, or just separate?
Concentration, you continue that into your animal form.
All right, so I will cast that on myself.
Isn't that an action?
Yeah, I guess so. It says buff. I always feel that should just be a thing, like, not a action. Never mind. Yes, I'm finished.
Does it say action for casting the spell, though?
Yeah, time 1A. Yeah, I'll be finished. Ooh, wait, I can do frostbite bonus cantrip. Oh, that's an action too. Never mind. I'll just be finished.
So she is running through you all. Faint, Ezekiel. Take any actions as she runs past you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one.
Don't think I get to use my ever one minute's reaction.
Nope, just a single.
One-handed.
So as she runs out of sight, what are y'all doing?
I mean, I guess we should follow her. We've got the elk in there still for a start. Gotta make sure
No,
that's
I
safe.
just didn't move all of that. You guys are taking your wagon train out of this place.
Yeah, I mean, she's not going to be happy at what she finds.
Do we either follow her in and kill her, or we get out of here and risk her attacking us on the road?
I mean, she's definitely just going to follow us if she's mad. So I can't imagine that just leaving would be a good idea.
Yeah, let's go after her.
All right, go back in.
It's on Feint.
All right, I follow in.
You're going to have difficult terrain through all of those goats.
In that case, then I go. Would I have difficult terrain getting past those logs?
Nope.
Okay, so I can make it to there, I think, without a dash.
Anything with your bonus?
Just checking out. I can't remember. Oh, as a bonus action, I can dash. Once I get to here, can I see her?
Sure.
Okay, then from here I'll throw my first psionic dagger at her. Only a 9 to hit for 5, and then I'll throw my second one. Actually, that was my bonus one, so I've got to roll my main one first. Sorry, I was on the wrong page. So that was my bonus action. I'll roll the main one now.
You don't have the bonus. You just bonus dashed.
Okay, then sorry, then ignore that roll. I'll roll the proper one.
Well, there's no difference. You rolled a
Okay.
5, or you rolled a 4 to hit. There's no difference between the actual attacks themselves. You have a +5
Okay.
regardless.
Then I'll move over here with the rest of my movement. Just kind of go.
And I'll
where
go
before.
to Ezekiel. So once you get to the goats, that's difficult terrain.
So I should be able to get her like just in sight then, yeah?
Sure.
I'll just cantrip Sacred Flame at her.
He seems far too distracted, and the light burns down from above. Any bonus?
Nope, that's gonna be it for me.
What are you going for, Kansas? You've seen your friends run to the west and one running to the east.
I'm gonna go head for the goats. All right. Is there some way I can get like a line of sight on her, or is there just too many goats in the way?
At this point, if you run in that direction, you're coming up on a wall of goats.
All right, fine. I'll go the other way.
And you're
I can get-
dashing?
Yeah. So like I'm sorry, I don't know though. Still don't understand the movement thing. Do I have enough movement to get to like here and do I have a line of sight on her?
If you take your character and you go to the measure tool, it's a little like circle with a measuring tape on it. You can draw a line, right click, and set that counter and actually measure your movement and then move.
All right, how do I set it?
Right click.
I'm on a touchpad.
2-finger click.
I don't think that works for me.
You've got to have the click somehow, but understandably, it is definitely something different for your touchpad. But I think it is 60 feet to get around that edge. So I think that's roughly where you could get to see her.
So can I get here?
Yep, I think that's the 60-foot mark.
Okay. And then I can cast Frostbite thing on her.
I got that frostbite. Frostbite is minus 10 movement.
Doesn't say anything about movement.
What's it say then? Is it the one that's disadvantaged on her next attack?
Yeah, you cause numbing frost to form on one creature that you can see within range. Target must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, target takes 1d6 cold damage, and it is disadvantaged on the next weapon attack roll.
Excellent. So as she runs in here, she's yelling out for Does name. I feel like there she's got plenty of a view on where his corpse was. And she's actually going to chuck a spear over top of the little gnome at feint.
Oh, good. I don't look dangerous. I just look yummy to things.
No, he's done a shitload of damage. She wants to destroy him. 14 to hit feint.
1 sec.
I think that's your AC.
Yeah, it is. Yep, it's my AC. So it means
She's going to do 16 piercing damage to you as her spear sinks into your shoulder.
okay. I'm extremely
And it's
bloodied.
going to be on you.
Let's have a little think. Okay, yeah, so it takes my bonus action to throw my second dagger, doesn't it? So
Indeed.
not to no, I'm not going to meta again. Don't worry about that. Okay, so I'm going to just throw one dagger then, and then I'm going to use my bonus action to hide. So let me just do that now. On psionic blade, even. 13 to hit. I'm guessing that doesn't
She's
hit.
going to deflect it away with her shield.
Okay, so I'm going to move. Which way to move and then hide?
You need to save movement for after you move, to then hide,
Yep.
and then to move again.
Okay, I'm going to go up this way.
Like standing where you hide at is not a sufficient way to stay hidden.
Yeah, so I'll say I'll hide, but I get to like here.
Stealth check.
A 17. And then I'll keep moving around this way, staying hidden. I think I can make it to about there.
And on to Ezekiel.
Actually, sorry, I'll say I was here when I used hide, and then I ran to here. Sorry.
Just gonna move up over there and Sacred Flame her again.
Going to be no result that time. Assuming no bonus, it's going to go to Kansas.
I'm gonna hit her with Frostbite again and then run away.
So she's going to swing out at you at disadvantage. I assume you have higher DC than 10, so she's going to whiff at you as she very slowly strikes out at you with. Yeah, she'd have a spear in hand still.
I can get that far. So hopefully she'll go after Faint, who's definitely more scary than I am.
She probably will, and then I'll be dead.
That's not so great either.
Did you measure how far that you could move there, Jamie? Just gonna
No.
say that right now, if you just guess like that, you are about to become the target because she still wants to kill Faint, and the last place she saw him, she's gonna see you when she moves there.
But he's in the other direction.
But he hid right in front of her, so she's gonna walk, see that he's not there, and see you to the south of her.
Can I go there?
What do you got for movement speed?
Uh,
Oh wait, you moved 60 to that last time. You definitely could not have given her disadvantage.
Yeah, actually, my movement speed is 25, so not really sure here.
Yeah, so you could not make that attack last time. Damn it.
Sorry.
I mean, she hit him anyways, even with disadvantage, so it's not that big of a deal, but whatever damage you dealt shouldn't be there. Yeah, you are going to be stuck in that area because you can only move to about the southern side of the sarcophagus. So yeah, she's going to move to there, and not being able to see Faint, she's going to huck a spear at you.
I can't fit inside all those little crevices.
Once you're dead, you'll fit in real well.
Yeah, okay. I'm smushed. All right. Nah, 16.
It's going to do 21. Yeah, she's got a +6 to hit. It's a 19 to hit you. She's going to do 21 piercing damage to you.
Yeah, I think level 7's out of reach.
And then it's going to go to Faint.
Okay, let's just think. So she's just gone for Jamie, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, in that case then I think what I'll do is I'm trying to think, because if I go to the right side and then do 2 daggers at her and then hide and then run, no, I won't have enough distance for that.
If you 2 daggers, you can't hide.
I know as well. What I'm thinking. I'll run to here. And I'll shout, "Calm down or you'll die too." And then I'll throw a silent dagger at her.
You don't get the impression she's going to give up.
Only a 10, so that'll be a miss, I'm assuming. And then I will hide and run round to here. And I think that's probably about as far as my movement will let me. I think if I go any further than that, she'll see me again anyway, so probably have to do that. Now let my turn.
Ezekiel.
So do I still need difficult terrain here, or am I like good on the go?
No,
Let's go
at
down.
this point, you've got northwest is a clear space, basically.
Did I get the impression that she could like fit down that way if she wanted to, or is that area like where Jamie's at like too small for her to like actually like move through?
You can do an insight here, or you could do a perception. Perception.
Could go either way.
He's already like well within that tunnel, I think is what you're gonna notice.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and is she noticeably damaged at this point in time?
I mean, she's got wounds from this battle, but she is not like bloodied. She's not in the bloodied condition.
I got you. Okay, I'm just gonna Sacred Flame her, I guess.
Once again, no effect. Assuming that is the end of Ezekiel's turn, Kansas, what would you like to do?
Okay, so if I turn into an animal, do I still only have like the 2 hit points I currently have?
Not at all. That's exactly why Druid's Druid.
So wolf is what I can do, right? The other things are too big.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure your CR maximum right now is less than the other things.
All right, so I'll turn into a wolf. Is that like a whole turn?
I'm pretty sure it's your action.
All right, that's fine. I'll do that. That gives me a couple more hit points.
You're just gonna stand there in front of her after you turn into a wolf?
No, I am actually gonna run around the damn corner. And I will think about what else I can do. Damn it.
She is going to yell out, "You're going to pay for this, you fools!" And she's going to start running through this. Jamie, she's going to run past you as a wolf. You can take an attack of opportunity.
Good question now. What do I roll?
Just an attack.
Just
a bite.
D. There's like no, I don't see bite anywhere. Hold on.
Pretty sure if you click on your wolf under wild shape at the bottom, you should see your actions to revert form or to bite.
Sorry, looking.
Roll a d20.
Found it.
Big ol' miss. As she runs past you, you snap at her at the last moment, and just kind of miss her ankles as she flies past you and disappears off into the woods to the south.
Pretty sure she's not happy with us.
What gives you that impression?
Oh, I forgot to mention a key part here. Let me get a perception check from all of you. Group perception. I feel like that's enough. Oh, and Josh had to tempt it. What is that? 1533? Yeah, that's high enough. When she walked up to the caves, she had a basket that she dropped the moment she recognized that you guys might have heard duh. So effectively, like just south of where Kansas is currently in wolf form, there's a basket of stuff that she was carrying.
Guess we should check it out, see what's in there. Might be something good.
You end up walking down there, and it seems to be filled with metal.
What kind of
Just
metal?
metal.
Roll an Arcana. Oh wait, you can't roll an Arcana. You're a wolf. It smells like metal. It smells like blood. You almost want to chew on it.
I'll take a look at it. I have proficiency with Arcana.
It just looks like a kind of like perhaps ore that she was harvesting. They seem to make their own armor and equipment, and apparently she was just bringing some back, perhaps, for the two of them to make some new spears, perhaps new armor.
Well, I think we have two easy choices. We can either leave and have her pursue us and run into her on the road, or we can stay here and wait for her to return with whoever or whatever she is going to get.
And it might lead her back to town, and then some people might die. Or she could attack us on the road. Could stay here, but then she could come back with more people.
Did we get any kind of inclination that like she was the other giant, or that there might be more than two giants that live here?
Um, you could do a survival to see. I think probably your biggest inclination is the moment she saw you all, she asked about someone by name, and then pretty much immediately ran to the places she would expect him to be. And then after going into a rage, she ran out. Yeah, I think looking through the place, you don't actually see any signs of like her footprints as if she lived here.
So, if she did not appear to live here, perhaps she is going back to get a spouse or friend, family member. Reinforcements, no doubt. We can try and hide our tracks as best we can and leave this place, or we can attempt some form of ambush and wait for her and whoever else.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how we could fake a different path though.
Yeah, there are a bunch of goats here.
Yeah, but we want to take them back.
Yeah, I guess we just like get out of here then.
Yeah, I guess we carry on with the plan and just assume that we're gonna have a little fight either on the road or when we get back to town. And I bet they'll love that.
All right, can I get a heal off of somebody?
We take a short rest. But I imagine we haven't really got that much time. Sooner we leave, the more distance we'll get between us and her and her posse.
Is it possible if I was like driving the cart for them to short rest as we travel, or how does that work?
You guys could abandon the materials that you have in the cart, and they could get a soft enough ride.
What about leaving the materials in the cart and just having a hobbit on top of like the elk? Is that possible?
As far as things go, it's like you can't really move in short rest. So I'm saying if you guys give up something, you can make that happen, but it's going to cost you something. So it's got to be you have to give up materials.
Let's just carry on then. If I die, I die.
He dies, he dies.
Yeah, hits us again, then I'm definitely dead.
So
Well, I mean, I still have 2 spell slots, but if I use them now, I can't pick you up if you get knocked down later.
yeah, keep
So,
on with them.
you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what your guys' like current hit points or anything is, but if she's doing an average of like 20 hits per or 20 damage per,
I've got 2 hit points. I don't know. I mean, I can stay as a wolf for a while, and then maybe if she comes back, I can still be a wolf, and that gives me a little longer.
how long do you stay as a wolf and what's your hit points in wolf form?
1 hour and 11.
I mean, it's up to you guys. We got to assume that she's going to come back with at least one other person or creature or monster or whatever. So the options are ditch some of the stuff and get a short rest on the road and hope they don't catch up to us before the short rest, or try and short rest here before we go, or not short rest and go.
I say try and short rest. I mean, I don't think it's going to work very well, but at least it gives us some option of movement. We're going forward.
I mean, I think we should ditch some of the shit and just try to move, and you guys short rest while we're moving.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So the stuff that actually belongs to Good Mead are the kegs that are on the elk. If you take the salt and the rice off of the cart, you guys can have them on top of the cart and short rest.
Fine, let's do that. Oh yeah, and a short rest gives me back beast form. Um,
Yeah, so I think we just hit the road again. Keep going.
Yeah, sounds good.
Perhaps if we are lucky, the blizzard will hide our tracks.
I think that's asking a lot.
Yeah, we haven't got the best track record with that, have we?
Yeah, so as you all start to move out and head back along the frozen stream, let me get a survival from you, Ezekiel. So yeah, you're able to keep the stream with you all as you push forward. Eventually, the aurora is going to dissipate. They can take a short rest, and you will have to decide whether you'd like to progress forward without light or whether you would like to light up your spear.
Oh yeah, I just like steady keep some light going. So
Yeah, I think we're better off getting back to the village rather than staying, like, resting on the road, like a long rest or anything. Sorry, I had that marked as 2, and I thought it would roll 2 at the same time.
So you can push on from where you are when they feel a little bit more rested, and either switch to, I think Kansas is probably your guide is probably your best choice. But you can otherwise continue forward if you would like on that same level.
All right, so I'm trying to follow the track back to the village, town.
Unless you would like to go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know if I need to roll something to get there.
Survival.
It's real cold. I have frostbite.
You get a perception from everybody at disadvantage.
Good rolls.
Yeah, seems kind of wasted.
So, not long into switching up the travel, you're going to pick up signs of a creature following you. And it's roughly, yeah, I think you're actually going to pick up signs that there is a creature that is ahead of you. And that is when you are also going to recognize that it is, in fact, also following you, that you've actually circled around to behind this creature. And you see basically there are large footprints that are following your herd of goats. And you guys are going to meet up with this creature at some point. Currently, it seems to be following your tracks that you've left behind you, which are currently ahead of you. And you've got a choice. You can abandon the stream and try to push off for Good Mead, or you can try to push on and try to ambush this creature before it has a chance to get to you.
Do we get the impression based on the footprints or whatever that we looked at before? Is this the same giant or a giant?
This is not a giant. You can do an investigation if you would like to try to figure out what it is.
There went the good rolls.
Yeah, I think you're going to spot that this seems to be a four-legged animal. Still quite a large creature, but it's definitely not a giant. You see signs of basically footprints that are overmatching each other, which tells you that there are hind legs stepping into the prints of four legs, and they're side by side. So you've got a solid understanding that this is a four-legged creature.
We are being pursued by a creature. We have inadvertently circled around behind it. From what I can tell from these tracks, I'll like put my fingers in the tracks and then I'll like lick my finger. It is a desert land tortoise, but I'm not sure.
Oh, I've heard tales of them.
So do we want to try to take it from the backside, or do we want to try to keep moving?
Oh, we could leave the animals where they are and then go and hide somewhere and wait for it to come close and ambush it.
Wait, I thought you said that we could potentially sneak up on it right now,
Oh,
or it was going to catch up to us eventually. I think we should try to keep moving, or ambush it. That's what I think. I don't think that we should just kill time in the blizzard, and
yeah, I agree.
you know.
Yeah.
So I think we should either try to just make it back to Good Mead as quickly as possible with all the supplies and animals and hope it doesn't catch up to us, or potentially we have to fight it when it does, or I think we should try to just ambush it right now and kill it.
Honestly, I'm good with any of those, but just bear in mind that we've got some low HP, so it might be a bit tricky to just pure fight it out in the open. But once you blow your surprise round, it's out in the open no matter what, isn't it?
Oh, wait, did you guys get healed up from a short rest or no?
Did we take a short rest, sorry?
Yeah, we did a short rest. I've got 11 hit points back. I guess I have one
Oh.
more hit die I can take.
Let me roll I didn't realize I roll my hit dice.
Oh yeah, I would say use everything to try to heal up. I mean, we got plenty of time to rest when we're in town or whatever. So
You really rolled 2 1s with all that, Kansas?
Yeah.
That's fucking insanity. Wait a second. Don't you get to... Oh, wait. It's only on D20s.
Right, I'm on 26 HP at 27 now, so I'm good.
All right. So do we want to keep moving and wait for it to catch up to us, or do we want to try to ambush it?
Maybe keep pushing. Because we've also got distance between us and the giant, so...
Yeah, I don't know how you ambush anybody when you got a string of goats and sheep.
Yeah. All right. So keep moving. It is.
Meh.
You a sheep now?
I think that was the goat sound. I don't know. I have speaks with animals. I'm not sure what I said though.
Sounded racist to me.
So let me get a survival from Kansas, and then let me get investigation or perception from Faint and Ezekiel.
Yeah, I'm going to use one of my die to reroll that. Oh,
It's not a
sorry.
reroll anymore. It's not a
add to,
reroll.
sorry.
Yeah, you can add +1, but that's what it is. Like, if you've got 4, you can add plus or minus 4. Do you want to use inspiration like that? I mean,
If
a
you
5 is...
fail an ability check using a skill or tool of which you have proficiency, you can roll one
Oh,
stone.
I got you. My bad. You're talking about one of your skills.
That's right, yeah. And if I fail, it doesn't consume the die. So I become a 10, which it's up to you if that's a pass or a fail. If it's a fail, I don't expend the die. If it's pass, I do expend it.
I mean, show me the skill. This is one of those things, if I use a sliding scale, it's...
Yeah, I understand. It gets a bit sort of
Because
fruity then,
there's
doesn't it?
not pass-fail stuff for a lot of what I do. You guys just
Well, if
get
it's
different information.
yeah, honest, if it's not a pass fail, then I think it should consume it no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, this is me trying to not fuck you guys by giving you extra information. Yeah, I think for now we'll just consume that. I'll have to look into it for how I do checks.
I think if it's something like picking a lock and you either do or you don't, I think that's when it could potentially
Well,
not
yeah,
be
that
consumed with
makes
a
sense
fail.
to me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
and if
you're
it's a
actually
sliding,
on something that's pass-fail.
yeah, and I think if it's a sliding scale, I think it should consume it no matter what. Probably. I think that's fair.
So let's see. I feel like those are all realistically pretty low. Yeah, I think how this is all gonna come into it's all gonna basically happen around the same time. It's not noticing you guys are not noticing it. But all of a sudden we are just going to basically find you guys within the same little area as a... I feel like at the roll of initiative, we'll let you guys figure out what this creature is. But I'm going to set you all up on that map. You can kind of decide. I feel like vaguely Kansas is in the lead. And then the other two are just kind of following. I'm not going to put the goat train down.
The way you said that about we can find out what it is, does that mean it was not the tortoise?
I really wish that I had a tortoise prepared, but is indeed not a tortoise.
I was so sure.
Next time, buddy.
I think tortoises would die up here. It's like really cold.
They're shells. It keeps them warm. They can create a small fire inside.
Now imagining a tortoise like hiding inside of its shell, like warming its hands by the space heater.
Of course. What else would they keep in their shell?
So yeah, as you guys close in on this little creature, and by little I mean it's gigantic. You are going to see as there is clearly a bear ahead of you, probably an easy like 600 or 700 pounds. And as it turns to look at you, you see its fur is kind of sleeked back away from its beak, and it has two prominent eyes that are spinning in different directions. And you can see that this creature clearly has an extraordinarily different face than the normal bear that you might encounter. Oh my gosh, Kansas rolled initiative? What?
I got it right.
So proud of you.
Don't think it's dexterous enough. Yeah, it's going to start with Ezekiel. My bad. Did you catch that, Ezekiel? It's going to start with you on combat.
Okay, I'm gonna do a. I'm just gonna move up to it, and then like spirit, single-handed spirit attack.
Solid. Any bonus action or any other movement?
No, that's it.
It is going to snap its beak down at you, very clearly missing as it bites towards the spear, and then try to rake you with its claws. It will as well miss wide, and it's going to go to faint.
Okay. Let's go for. Trying to think if I should do one on attacks or two, basically behind. I'm gonna go with two. So go the first. And a second.
Second is going to connect, dealing 10 damage.
Very good. And then I'm going to move in towards his bush. But not hiding, because I can't.
And Kansas?
I'll throw frostbite at it, and then eventually turn into a wolf. Hold on.
If you're going to frostbite, you can't turn into a wolf.
No, then I'm gonna run away, and the next turn turn into a wolf. which is kind of chicken. And now I figured out that I have cure wounds, but you know, I need to use it some other time.
Oops. And Ezekiel, what would you like to do? Good job having right next to each other.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go for another stabbage, I guess. Well, looks like it's just you and me now, Beast.
Solid hit for 8 more.
That's it for me.
It's going to run away from you.
Good smoke it again.
It's going to strike out at feint. 14 should hit.
Oh yeah, it meets again.
It's going to do 9 piercing damage. That's going to miss as you spear at it. It just kind of gets caught up in the tuft of its hair, and it's going to try to rake feint with his claws, which will hit. And it's going to do 19 slashing damage.
So what's the first one?
9 and then
Yep,
19.
So yeah, I'm unconscious. Taking me from full HP was almost a full kill.
That saving throw?
Why did it attack me a third time?
No, like make a death saving throw. It's the start of your turn.
Oh, okay.
And then once he makes that, it'll be on you, Kansas. Solid save. So close, just standing up.
All
Oh,
right.
it's not happy about that. Go from full HP to 0 HP, even though I was ranged and went and moved around the corner, but fair enough.
Why? Like, this creature is attacking you. It attacks people. That's what it does.
I'm not complaining, I'm just saying it's not a lot I can do about it.
Can I shoot it?
If you shoot it, it's a disadvantage. If by shoot it you mean you're a frostbite, it makes a save, so disadvantage doesn't matter.
Just out of curiosity, did it get disadvantage when it attacked Josh that first attack, or did that fail?
Oh, because of frostbite?
Yeah, I don't know if it passes its save, if it doesn't get disadvantage. I don't know how that works exactly. I was just curious.
No, you're right. What was it? I think the first one was the 7. No, with disadvantage is the 7,
Yeah, it was worth a try.
which is a 14.
Yeah. Cheers, Mom.
But for future reference, does that only disadvantage if it like fails its save, or how does that work?
It does indeed. It's a cantrip, so it does nothing if you save.
I'm just gonna try and shoot it.
With,
Short bow,
that's going to be a disadvantage.
and that would be a complete miss.
And then it's going to go to Ezekiel.
Didn't you have a bonus action, Jamie?
No. if I could come up with a bonus action, I would, but I don't think I have any.
I can reach Josh from right there, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna run up and say, I said it's you and me, and I'm gonna spear it with my attack.
That as well will miss.
And then I am going to bonus action this time, and I'm gonna do healing word on Josh.
Thank you very much.
Oh wait, healing word is bonus action, but not touch. Oh,
Correct.
okay.
That's a range.
Oh, it doesn't matter. That's fine. Yeah. Wait, hang on. Let me think for a second. Yeah, I actually want to stay away from it and just like throw a spear at it, if that's okay. Still use the same roll or whatever, but hoping that it would potentially leave combat with them and come back after me.
It's fine.
Hey, do I still have the orc stone? It's in my inventory.
Yep, you rolled the exact same secret all over again.
Well,
Alright,
if
so-
I survive, then I'll call it up. That was a cool thing.
You get 3 uses of this. You are not fighting a badass giant. I mean, you are welcome to call it up, but this creature is not nearly on the same level as some of the other shit you guys have battled.
Okay.
So Josh, you gain 10, and that's it for my turn.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
It is going to run back towards Ezekiel.
Damn straight you are.
I think it's bullshit that you saw my 4, but that doesn't necessarily mean what I was rolling.
Wait, what was it?
1, 2 was attacking feint, 3 was Kansas, 4 was you. So I had
no.
already rolled that it was attacking you.
Oh no, I didn't know that. To tell you the truth, the only reason I was running up close is because the only way I could bonus action and attack was if I used healing word, and I was thinking healing word was touch, but cure wounds was at range. But it's the other way around. That's why I said that. But yeah, are you guys attacking it? Anybody reaction? Fight the
Oh,
owl?
I didn't realize it was a reaction. So if it's a reaction, then yes, definitely.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that either.
Disadvantage from Josh. And what do you got in your hands right now, Kansas? You've got a bow. Do you have Warcaster?
No.
I don't think you have a reaction here
How come it's disadvantage? Sorry.
because you are on the ground.
Okay.
You could like melee punch it as it runs away though, Kansas. Do like that 1 damage.
Yeah, I've got unarmed strike. Does that work?
Go for an unarmed strike.
So guys, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I just gotta go help my mum lift something.
You know, because a gnome is gonna do a lot against what is this? A giant badger? Oh no, it's an owlbear.
You don't get 2 attacks. It's just 1.
I know. I'm just
Stop
because I've got.
spamming.
I'm not spamming. I'm just saying I've got to go downstairs. So there's my turn. Ready.
There's not going to be any turn. It's running.
Haha! It was scared.
Basically, from those attacks, it will be bloodied and it will run away as it's. So you are still on the path back to Good Mead. You guys have now vanquished the predator that was following your goats. What would you like to do?
Just gonna keep moving back to Good Mead.
Let me get 2 more survivals from you, Jamie, from Kansas. And what does the bag of tricks say? It's at dawn.
Hold on, looking.
Till next dawn. Yeah, so I think you all are going to push through the night. It's going to take many, many more hours than you had the feeling that you spent on the way there. In general, you don't have anything else big that kind of happens. There's definitely signs of a lot of snow across most of your time spent in the forest before you start to actually get into exhausted levels of being tired. But eventually, around dawn of the next day, you're actually going to be coming out of the forest and getting back to Good Mead. I think as far as things go, I think you'll probably spend the last few hours with the 3 of you, like dragging the wagon, unless in particular you want to start pulling beasts for the last little bit. But you're pretty much back there by the time you guys lose the elk.
Sounds good. You want to just take a quick break then?
Yep, this is a good time for a break for sure.
All right, I'm gonna have to make a call. It might be a little while.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, me too. I'm good whenever.
It's really windy here at the moment, and there's like a garden swing type thing that's got like a big canopy over the top of it, and it was like it slightly lifted off the ground under the wind, so I had to rush down and go and lift the roof off and go and put it in the one of the sheds.
Are you about to get hit by Hurricane Sam?
I don't think so, but it's just breezy. It's just been really windy all over the UK today and yesterday.
Yeah, it's so wild because like I keep hearing about how there's like no wind in Europe, so they're having trouble with like energy.
I mean, it depends where, but we don't have like tornadoes and things, but wind in general still is definitely a thing.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks like something's right between like the UK and like Denmark.
Yeah, I'm on the northwest though, so I'm on the other side of England to that, but definitely very windy. It's been very windy for about 2 or
Yeah,
3 days.
I think you're getting some effects from Sam, but I mean a lot of that I feel like can just as much be like the nor'easters, how that kind of works. But Sam's like right in the center right now of the Atlantic, and it's fucking massive.
So what's that psionic dice, Josh? It lets you like add it to a dice roll to like modify it, kind of like a battle maneuver.
Yeah, so if you fail a ability check, of which you're proficient with, I think is the disclaimer, you can roll a d6 and then add it to your total. And if you still fail the check, it doesn't cost you a dice. But if you succeed in the check, then it bills you one of your dice. But the debate we were having before, which I think we're on the same page with, is that if it's not a pass or fail situation, it's like a sliding scale. So the higher you roll, the more you see. Then I think it should bill me all the time, no matter what, one of my charges. So it's kind of like using a superiority die, except I can't use it for attacks, not yet anyway.
And is it only for like regular ability checks, or is it like saving throws and stuff too?
I don't think it's for saving throws. I posted it before, see what it says.
Oh yeah, I saw it up there. Yeah, that's pretty good though. That's cool. Anytime you get to modify a die after you roll, it's always a good thing.
Yeah, it doesn't even say it has to be done before you know if it's a pass or fail yet. That's one of the main reasons why I thought this would be a good class for me to play, is because anything that helps me with my rolls is always good. But I didn't realize how high a level you are before you can use it to help your attack rolls. It's a pretty high level before it does that, so I'll probably never see it.
What is it, like 14?
Yeah, something like 13, 14 around that. It's high.
Yeah, I think the coolest part about that class is it's straight up set up to be the assassin class. You like kill somebody and it looks like they got like a little paper cut.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
It would be better if you could change their memory.
Yeah, like direct psychic attack to the brain. I mean, I think the flavoring behind it's pretty cool. It's about how, like, it looks like he's throwing like a shimmering dagger or whatever, or attacking with a shimmering dagger, but it's just in the mind of everyone around you who's looking at it. It's affecting people's minds rather than it is actually real energy.
Well, I feel like with rogues, the best thing is if you can get your sneak attack once a turn, and then potentially when something runs away from you, you can get your sneak attack again. So it's kind of like a double down. But as long as you get at least one sneak attack a turn, like they're pretty dope.
Well, one sweet thing with getting knocked down there is he would have no weapons in hand, but when he has nothing in his hands, he just creates the weapons in his hands. So everybody else would have been like, it would have been 2 unarmed strikes there, one from Feint, one from Kansas. But because of what his class is, he just forms the dagger and throws it.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. So you get a dagger attack with sneak attack as opposed to just like an unarmed strike, like it does like 1 damage.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole thing is how it's 2 attacks. It really helps with my luck to try and land that sneak attack each round.
Well, low levels, that shit's extremely important. And then fact of the matter is it's important with rogues to always be using 2 weapons because of that.
Yeah, the issue though is that the damage of it falls off massively very quickly because it's stuck at is it a D8 and then a D? Yeah, I think it's a D8 or something for the so it falls off very quickly basically.
Yeah, I think the best thing with the rogue is if you hit with your first attack and get your sneak attack off to like bonus action something dope because you're a rogue. But if you don't hit with your first one, to go for like the second attack.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Rogues definitely are all about the sneak attack damage. It has nothing to do with the weapon you're applying it with. It's part of the danger with rogues who go for bows, is because with the bow you're always stuck on that one attack.
Well, and with you just have to have one dagger in your hand, and then you can either do a second dagger from nowhere or whatever, right?
No, both of them he can form. It doesn't take anything.
Oh, right. So I mean, realistically, I wonder if you should wear a shield for the extra defense.
I don't know if that'll work. Maybe you can do it, but
I think
maybe
that would limit you.
Yeah, because I think it's like your second hand, which is also free. You form a second dagger in that hand rather than throw two from the same hand. I'm pretty sure it's like, releasing both of your hands forward from underneath your cloak and firing two daggers out, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it specifically says providing your other hand, like your second blade, comes from your offhand.
All right. Yeah, I haven't read like most of the classes outside of like the two main books. What book is that one from? Is that from Tasha's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you able to make your phone call there, Jamie?
Yeah, they said to reprocess my bill or whatever. I'm still working on my bills from May because some of them are in network and some of them are out of network, even though it's the same damn building that's on the same place as the hospital. I don't understand it.
Oh, that's that bureaucracy about the $70 billion homeless shelter that they built in the parking lot. It's like, who's paying the insurance company? So yeah, we have you all getting back into Good Mead early the next day with everything in tow. And you can let's see. I don't think you guys actually know where Jaeger lives. I think your main idea would be to take everything to the mead hall at that point.
Yeah, that sounds good. I guess we'll just take our little caravan to the meat hall and summon Jaeger.
Yeah, but we'll wait outside. I don't want to take the goats and things in, do we?
Yeah,
I mean, not in the meat hall, but yeah, like to the meat hall.
What I mean is, I think the idea is you guys would take everything outside, and then you would basically go into the mead hall to try to get some attention.
Right, we're not taking the goats and stuff inside.
Because if I recall, you guys have met Olivessa, but you don't know where she lives. You've met Yarrick, but you don't know where he lives, or Jaeger, but you don't know where he lives. While you come back into town, you would recognize that the Torg's caravan is still set up by the shrine of. Think of it offhand. I can't think of it. What is that god? Well, they call it the Shrine of the Flaming Sword, and that is sufficient. I can't think of the god offhand. Tempest. But heading into the mead hall, you guys can see a few folks. Let me get a D100 from somebody. $80 seems good. Yeah, so heading into the mead hall, you see signs of a couple of people. It's early in the day, so there's probably a few people who are here having breakfast when you all arrive. But you do spot Olivessa off to the eastern side of the hall. And then you have Ariana is behind the bar closest to the door. And you see Jaeger seems to be discussing something with a few guards at the southern of the main, or I guess it's southwestern of the main, like central tables.
Yeah, we'll go up to him and talk to him.
Going up to Jaeger.
Yeah. We talked to him and right before we left, right? Yeah. He let us out there, didn't he?
Oh yeah, shit. That was actually my bad. He should have actually been with you guys. Psych. Yeah. So that's definitely just kind of catching that back up. This would have all been conversation you would have had then. Fuck. Yeah, that's my mistake. It was not in my notes that Jaeger was with you. So how will that play out? Excellent. You've returned the casks. Some of our mead, at least. It is a pleasure. Yeah, I feel like we just gotta go off the fact that I fucked up. He should have been with you guys, and we gotta play it as if he was not. That you guys found your way there on your own, and he left. Because that's what you guys are walking into as far as the three of you right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, makes sense.
You have made it back safe. It is a pleasure to see you again.
Of course, we have recovered some of the mead and some other supplies. Quite a bit of livestock as well.
You've brought livestock back. This creature was keeping things.
Yes, the ogre and bears did not appear to be intelligent, but the giants were definitely much more intelligent. At least smart enough to speak and travel in each other's footsteps to hide their numbers.
And you have killed them all. You've brought back all of our supplies. What were you able to return with?
We have killed some of them and brought back some of your supplies, but I suspect that this will not be the end of this. There are more giants in this area, more creatures. So, as you know, you are far from harm's way, but at least one step closer. And I'll just like tell him all the stuff, or like I don't know if he wants to follow us outside and just look at all the stuff we brought back. Because I feel like it ended up just being the two kegs, the livestock, and the cart, right?
Yeah, and I mean, for what it's worth, they're not missing a cart. The kegs are theirs. The livestock is not necessarily theirs. That's all stuff that will be kind of surprising to them. Well, I would be much obliged to return the mead, and we will have to try to get it off to sail soon here. As promised, you are welcome to drink for free and stay in Good Mead as you will. Are you interested in becoming shepherds, or will you be? Do you have plans for your flock?
Not in particular. If you are interested in the cart and the beasts as well, we would be glad to give them to you for a fair price. Or if not, we can sell them perhaps to the caravan that travels these lands. I'm sure they would pay a pretty penny. Or perhaps you can just middleman and sell them yourself. It means no difference to us, but we are no shepherds in these lands. A matter of fact, I may be leaving tomorrow.
Are you planning on going again?
Of course, I have business to deal with. I must return the relic.
Well, each their own, I suppose, but what you were staying with us at this point.
Perhaps I can stay a couple more days.
I will need to discuss with Shandar and Olavessa to try to figure out what we can buy these creatures off of you for. If you would all like to go inside and enjoy a meal, enjoy some ale, I will have the discussion and come find you all soon.
Of course, that sounds good to me. Everyone else agreed?
Sure, we can drink the ale mead that we brought back.
Oh no, they're taking that because that was like part of what we brought back. But we get to drink and stay for free in town. We just like walk in with our own keg and just tap it in the middle of the hall. It's like
Giant keg.
Finders keepers.
at whatever point in time too, like however time it takes me or whatever, I'd like to look over the items that we find and see if I can get any idea about the dagger or the boots. And
They're just
also-
normal.
What's that?
They're just normal items.
Just a normal dagger and boots?
Yep.
And then what about the gems that we gathered up? Or no, it wasn't gems. What was it? The metal.
Yeah, I got a pink and green stone, which you can have a look at if you want.
Does anybody have a reason to have stone skills?
Stone skills? No, not in particular. I was talking more about like Arcana, if I could see what was up with like that magical metal or whatever.
I thought you already checked that and failed the roll. I think you rolled a 1.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize it was like once ever check.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. Like, you can certainly continue to check, but I feel like you're reading into the fact that there's a roll, that you know that there's something to it. As far as you know, you just have a bundle of metal, I feel like, with a roll like that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of look at it as like we find a satchel of metal on the road, like as we're like fighting a giant in a hurry, and I take a quick look, versus me being like sitting down, like closely examining it in like a warm place with like food and light and ale. So, I mean, I'm cool with whatever you want to do, but you know, I'm thinking outside the box here a little bit. Like if I just like found something on the side of the road in the middle of a chase scene with a giant, probably not going to be like fully looking at it the same way I would in like, you know, a safe space once we get back. So
Roll another Arcana check. Yeah, I think that's just going to continue forward with. It seems like the creatures were preparing to harvest some ore and create billets. But it's basically like raw material. So Jaeger will return to you all. We are still some time away from when we will vote and have assurances one way or the other between the town masters. Once we have a speaker, somebody will have the authority to do such things. But Shandar is willing to pay 145 gold for the sheep in the cart, or rather the sheep, the was it goats, sheep,
Yep.
the sheep, the rams and the goats. Effectively, they're all the same though. And then Olafessa would be willing to pay 190 for the lot of your find. But as long as we have neither, they both agree that we can pay you 170 gold.
Seems generous enough.
I've got a theory, by the way. What if, sorry to interrupt, but what if the angry dwarf guy who no one wants to be the town speaker, what if he brokered some kind of deal with those giants to kill everyone so that he could become town speaker? And the ale was like payment for it, maybe. Anyway, carry on.
Blind accusations do not go off very well. Without any sort of proof, we would have little ability to move forward with such things.
Oh, that was out of game, sorry, but yeah, fair enough. So what was it? So 190 for one of them, 175 for the other, and then what was it, 170 for neither of them to have it or something?
No, 145 from Shandar, 190 from Olivessa, but they both agreed that they would pay 170.
Okay, so they met in the middle for 170 gold. Got it. That's all right. We could do well for 170 gold.
All right, so we each take like 56 and 2/3.
I'll just take 56. So you can split the other one in half.
Yeah, so when they go to collect that, when you guys go to make that deal, they are going to bring forth some gems for you all. They do not have coin.
Oh.
Let me get all three of you to roll a D100. So they are going to bring you out 11 gems. There are going to be, let's see, 3 carnelians, 3 rhodochrosites, and 4 topazes.
So do you want to get that down? Because I'm just removing the 56 gold, sorry.
I don't suppose by any chance that you would happen to have any diamonds. I would accept a smaller for my portion, if that was agreeable or possible.
I am very sorry. The only other gems that we have are actually some more of the rhodochrosites.
And I'm curious. I know this is a smaller town, but is there someone here that perhaps might have some stones that we could swap, or we could swap these stones for some gold?
We really do not have anyone in town who has any substantial portion of coins in the least bit, nor do we have anybody who works any sort of stone trade. These are what we have taken over many, many months of payment from some of the other towns. Predominantly, these come from the gem mines of Termalaine.
So it was worth trying. Thank you. We appreciate it. I'm glad that we could help you.
As we understand, as things go, these gems are worth a premium as to what we agreed on. They are still worth more if you take the time to sell them. If you need to pay in a rush, obviously there is a certain amount of lost value. As anyone would know, they are well worth the 170 gold in a pinch.
Okay, so we're not getting any gold, and you gave us a bunch of rocks.
Yes, that is correct.
They don't really have gold round here. It's more of a valuable item exchange sort of economy.
And it's lighter, easier to carry. Plus, they're shiny. So, out of game, like, how are we supposed to record this? I threw one of each kind of stone in my inventory, but I had also put the coinage in. So, what do you want me to do?
Delete the
Coins are-
coinage because you didn't get any coins. But you guys have basically 11 gems right now. All of them are worth 20 gold apiece. If you try to sell them in a pinch, they are worth 15 gold, which is about 170 gold.
So sorry. So how many stones did we get each then? Sorry.
Up to you guys how you want to split loot. In the long run, I don't think splitting loot is nearly important that somebody actually has loot on them, that it has a home. But there's 11, so you are just short of being able to give each person 4.
Yeah, I think if just one person writes down all the stones and their value, and then at some point in time we can try to like hawk them for like gold or whatever, and then split up the gold. But I don't see like a huge reason to like carry stones myself or anything.
All
Yeah,
right,
sounds good.
I'll have them in my inventory then. The topaz says $500 or gold or whatever, you know?
You have to custom add them. D&D Beyond has like particular things. If you try to add a diamond in D&D Beyond, they only have a 5,000 gold diamond.
Yeah, but it's just like for the amount of stones and stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't think a topaz would be worth that much.
No, that's what I mean. Like D&D Beyond only has a particular stone. You have to add a custom stone. Like just add a custom item, name it the name of the gem, and then put in the value. Like realistically, I would put in the 15, 20, but you could potentially get 25 for them if you take plenty of time to sell them. It's up to you guys how quickly you need to turn that into coinage, how much they're worth. Yeah, I can't believe I rolled the exact same number. I rolled a 72 as well, Josh, to figure out what
Chances.
stones they would have had as well.
On the same wavelength then, mate.
Perhaps while we're here in town, we could speak with the caravan as they are here as well, and maybe do a barter, sell some of these stones, or perhaps I'm always searching for diamonds and events that one day they may be necessary.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But yeah, at this point in time, I'm just down to get a long rest in whenever.
Yeah, I need a long rest.
Same.
Yeah, as far as things go, you guys are early in the day, so you can either spend a day exhausted or you can sleep and have a completely bonkers schedule. But you live in a land of perpetual night, so it's dim light when there is light. But it's up to you guys how you want to go about that.
I think we should take a long rest now.
Yeah, it's got to be tiring. We walked through the entire night or whatever time it was.
Oh, you're definitely exhausted.
And Ezekiel's heal was very helpful, but I'm still only on 10 hit points, which I guess is half my health, so
But if you all need to sleep, you are more than welcome to return to the barracks and take your rest. And perhaps we will see you later on in the evening.
Sure.
So you all can head to the barracks, take a long rest, and when you are ready, what would you like to do?
I think we're going to talk to the caravan, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm thinking. What you guys thinking?
Yeah, I'm up for that. Get some diamonds in. If anyone's going to have them, it'll be them, won't it? So
Yeah, it's worth a shot. But regardless, I feel like while they're here, we need to talk to them anyway. That's kind of like a lead along our stuff too. So
yeah, forgot about that, the burgeoning thing.
Right. So out of game, like we resolved the thing in this town, right? So we should go to another town.
Well, they've still got the townspeaker thing on the go with the shiftiness of the dwarf and that, and the townspeaker thing being brought in, but we've killed off one giant and his ogre friend and his polar bear, who we believe killed the previous townspeaker and took some ale. But we know that there's still another giant, at least one more out there, who's now angry. So I wouldn't say it's fully resolved, but I don't know what else we can do with it at this point.
Yeah, I think you guys are still 7 days away. Yeah, Shay 8th, and it should be on the 15th is the election. So you are still 7 days shy of when they will go through with the election. So yeah, if you guys are approaching the trading company, I think we went with they had 4 wagons, so they've got 4 tents set up, kind of on like the front sides of their wagons, essentially in kind of like a circle around each other, and all of the goods are kind of laid out underneath these tents. And Or I guess maybe more that they have some goods like laid out, but they are effectively set up for business when you guys wake up towards the afternoon. And you can approach, and you'll see as that same woman, Torga, will approach you all and welcome you into the trading company. Welcome, friends, welcome. It's good to see you have returned. Have you coin to spend and an interest in our wares?
Actually, I'm curious myself. Do you happen to have any diamonds by chance?
I believe at present I have some rubies as well as I think I have some tiger eye. But you are searching for diamonds. Who knows what one might find on the tundra? I can certainly keep it in mind. You are not from here, though. Where would we find you if we acquire some diamonds?
Well, where is it going to next?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. Our path is currently unclear, but yeah, I suspect we will cross paths again. So, if you should run into some diamonds along the way, know that I will pay a premium for them, should you find them and acquire them. And I'll basically just tell her I would pay her whatever like the going rate for like the value of a diamond is. Any diamonds that she could get for me, I would pay her double.
Double.
Dang. Can we trade like our topazes and stuff for 1 diamond? That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, she doesn't have any diamonds.
Well, I just mean that it gives her an incentive to find them. 1, 2, she gets around and talks to a lot of people, and 3, it's going to be very hard to get another 200 worth of diamonds. And for me, the ability by the time we're level 5 to potentially be able to resurrect someone is like top priority. So, that's what I'm thinking. That's sort of my general.
Right, I know. We wanted diamonds for resurrection. Got it.
Double for diamonds is certainly a intriguing prospect. You must be aware that there are many practitioners of art who would be searching for such things, and I can certainly keep it in mind to try to save them for you. There is also the likeliness that people go missing, people die off. Perhaps I never see you again. Maybe I need to sell them to the person who I see when I have diamonds at that point.
Of course, and I understand you're running a business here. I would not presume. Who knows? By then I may be dead myself. But in the event that you were to find these diamonds for me, who knows? One day, perhaps, it would be you I will resurrect.
That is an awfully kind prospect of you. I hope that day never comes.
As do I. But let it know it's a standing offer.
I
What do you-
pretty much never take notes on this, but did you ever actually introduce yourself by name to Torga?
Oh yeah. We got to know. I talked to her specifically when we like paid to bring back the body, and like I
Yeah,
introduced
but
myself.
that's what I mean. Okay. Well, it was Eric, right? Eric?
Ezekiel.
Hi. Oh wait. What was your name again?
I am Ezekiel.
Key and Peel. Excellent. Well, when I find some diamonds, I would be more than happy to try to find you, and we will certainly deal in our business. But for now, without diamonds on hand, Is there anything at all that you might be searching for?
We could maybe sell our diamonds, our gems that we got.
Well,
You-
I don't know exactly what you possess, but we have some items to barter with or sell. The gems he speaks of, but rather than looking for anything in particular, other than, of course, the diamonds, I would ask you, do you have anything in particular that would intrigue travelers as ourselves, or perhaps keep us alive?
You don't have anything that you are searching for. So you are purely hoping that perhaps I have something nice. Have you found yourselves any snowshoes? Do you wear crampons?
We got snowshoes, haven't we?
Yeah, I've got snowshoes.
I'm not sure, and I don't speak for you, but are you still interested in a climbing kit, my friend?
Could potentially help him. We've only got a crampon, piton, sorry.
Oh yeah, I feel like at one point in time though there was like a distinction where it might have benefited potentially for a climbing kit. I can't
Yeah.
remember honestly.
Pitons are something you wedge into the wall that you can tie rope to. A climbing kit, in particular, among the things that make it important to distinguish is that it actually has a harness that you can tie rope to. If you tie rope to your waist and you fall, that's a great way to break your spine. Whereas if you have a harness on, it braces you at your waist as well as on your legs. So, like, the climbing kit is meant for climbing, whereas pitons, rogues have pitons because you can wedge them in shit to disarm traps.
And then as far as asking her, I was sort of getting at like I don't know if she has any cool like magic items or random things for sale, or if we could afford them. But like
Oh,
I
but 100%, she's like starting like low because she's trying to sell you cheap shit for expensive prices. So
yeah,
when she
I'm not
pitches,
sure. Oh, go ahead.
when she pitches the snowshoes, she'll be like a little bit disappointed. But hearing you speak of a climbing kit, she'll kind of turn around and like, oh, we have climbing accessories. We can definitely set you up with a climber's kit if you are in the search for such things.
I find more often than not in a place like this that it is better to barter for what one has than request specific goods. I'm sure you must have a couple of nice items that are worth a few hundred gold. That sort of your pick of the litter.
Let me see these gems that you have.
We'll show her the gems. I think Paris has the bag of them, right?
Yeah, I've got the green and pink one as well, which I'd like to show her. Just, acting like I'm looking to sell it, but keep hold of it just to see if she can identify what it is.
Yeah, yes, we have this lovely red and brown and some other color, and they are really pretty. And diamonds are just kind of clear and boring.
Roll a d6 for me, Ezekiel. I am afraid at this moment Among my most valuable possessions are things that might be for your kind, depending on what sort of magics you weave. I do have a few scrolls from arcane casters. Other than that, I regret to say that I have little more than some potions to keep you healthy when times are at their worst.
Potions are good.
Well, you all have a certain quantity of gems there, and while they seem nice enough, um, even all of those for my nicest potion, which will restore some of your health to you, it is not enough. But I could do I could do 7 of these gems for 2 of the health potions. Or we could do 9 of the gems for the potions in the climber's kit.
I got one potion already.
I'm not sure we are particularly interested in potions. Perhaps when we cross paths again, you will have something we desire, and perhaps we will still have these gems.
Potions don't seem like a bad idea.
You two have both got healing spells, and I've got a potion of healing on me. So for the cost of the gold against them for the moment, I don't think it's that good of an investment.
All right.
Yeah, I think the real question is, what would we potentially save our gold for, and what do we want? Because I got to agree that healing is less important with 2 healers in the party. But at the same time, if we don't have anything we're going to particularly spend our gold on, might not be a bad idea.
That's kind of my feeling on it.
So I don't know. It's up to you guys. Whatever you want to do.
I'd rather keep
okay
all.
either way.
Josh, you're saying you want to keep the gold? I mean,
The
it's
gems,
not gold.
yeah.
It's gems.
I just don't think. I mean, I've got one ready, so if one of you goes down, I can pick you up with a healing potion. And the sheer cost of this level doesn't really feel worth it, you know.
All right. I get no. I don't care either way.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean, it's never a bad idea to have healing potions, obviously, and I don't know how often we'll encounter them. But at the same time, like I see both sides of the argument. You could argue that healing potions now are better than no healing potions, but you could also argue that if we just spend our gold all the time, we'll never be able to afford something sweet if we do come upon it.
But if there is nothing that we can supply you with, it's most unfortunate. But perhaps we will find somebody with diamond. Perhaps we will find diamonds along the road and see you again soon.
Of course, let it be us establishing the beginning of a relationship or friendship rather than us not being interested in your goods. I think it's better that we have gotten to know each other. You have provided us a valuable service, helping us to bring our friend's body here, and know that in time your generosity will be repaid, and perhaps can be done by paying the premium should you find the diamonds. Thank you, my friend. We will be on our way now. I want to sort of like peep around a little bit. Like I'm just kind of like looking through their little. I imagine it's like a little bazaar type setup. Is that right?
Again, it's more or less like they've got their wagons set up in like a circle, and they've got their tents kind of set out in that central area. So it's a small bazaar, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to just kind of like peep around, like just kind of walking around, like I'm perusing the goods. But what I'm really doing is just kind of like looking around to see if I see her right hand man, like anything about him. Because I want to later on at some point in time reach out and see if we've heard anything or there's any additional details from like the I don't have my notes right out in front of me, but from like the little bag of contact.
I mean, yeah, looking out and around in this area, you would see the group is all here. So Cephacoutra would not be hard to spot among everybody who is in this little spot here. But it would probably take a little bit more effort to like note how many guards there are, insofar as like the total number of people. But you have a pretty solid understanding just based on the fact that they travel with 4 carts, that you're probably looking at something in a base 4. Um, but in general, I would say do like a stealth, because you could either do like stealth or deception, I think. Or even a performance. I feel like that's kind of for like how you're acting. And then you could do like a perception to see what you see.
So like just out of curiosity, if I do stealth this way, is it still disadvantage or is that only like to be spotted type thing? I want to kind of like you said.
Oh yeah, this is not that same sort of stealth. No.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm kind of just wanting to like size them up to get an idea. Like, okay, if we fight them, how many of them is there going to be one day? And like, do I see this dude around here? Can I gather anything about him, etc. So I'll do stealth
Yeah,
and
so I think already that's more towards deception, really, because you're shopping, trying to fake what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to pick up kind of like Torga. You'll see Suffolk again, and you'll probably spot that there's 3 or 4 other guards. It's kind of hard for you to really take down what you're seeing here. But overall, you spend much more of this effort in really noticing that, in general, what these people do is they travel around with very, very basic supplies. As far as the meta level of it is this place is like these people are essentially the adventuring gear salesmen for the 10 towns. And I think this will further solidify for you all the understanding that Good Mead has merchants, or not Good Mead. Bryn Dar, East Haven, and Targos, the 3 biggest cities, are probably the only ones that have any level of real like commerce. Everybody else is much more dependent on these people for basic shit, and that's what they offer as a service, because that's what you're kind of seeing here. Very, very basic equipment.
sounds good. Yeah, that's all I was looking to gather.
And I think you guys would also have picked up that everything that they tried to sell you was also at a premium as well.
What?
Was also at a premium.
Well,
But
yeah.
I mean, realistically,
well-
nothing that you've bought up in Icewind Dale has been anything bought at a premium.
Yeah, it's like Alaska. Yeah, sure.
But if you are all finished and you didn't spot anything on your last little bit of browsing, do you have plans where you will be traveling? Have you thought about where we might find you were we to come across diamonds?
I think we haven't made our mind up yet. We're just gonna settle here for a bit and then just sort of go where the blizzard takes us. I just sort of flash a side eye to the two.
Yes, I imagine at some point in time we will make our way deeper into the cities, perhaps to the north.
So what are you getting at with the side eye there, Faint? Are you trying to be threatening?
No, I'm trying to basically get the other two to know not to tell them because I just don't know. I just something about, especially with the murder amongst them and that. Her asking where we're going just feels a bit proby, and I kind of feel like I don't want to exactly tell them. We run into them, but I don't want them to be following us on any paths and trying to ambush us and take our shit or whatever, you know.
Have you a particular town to the north? Where were you thinking of going?
No, nothing in particular. We sort of go where the winds take us. Even when we try to go other places, we often get lost and end up somewhere else. So, without any particular idea, I think perhaps it would be easier for us to find you. What is your path? Do you have a certain travel way of going? Do clockwise through the towns? Do you have its specific destination in mind?
Make a persuasion. She's gonna slap you on the back. She's gonna laugh at you. If you think that the winds are going to guide you to the north, it is no wonder that you get lost so often, friend. The winds always come from the north, and that is possibly a large reason why you get lost. But perhaps we will see you someday. I don't yet know where we will be going. We have many people to see. I think it has been quite some time since we've been to Bremen in order to help them, but we will have to see if we have actually satisfied any of those orders. You see, most of my customers, who I can call friends, when they ask for something, they also tell me where to meet them or where they live, and that is how our business predominantly chooses where we go. If I have this and they need it here, we go to there.
Of course, it makes perfect sense. And once again, if we knew when we were going or where we would be, perhaps I could tell you. But the truth is, we are yet to even decide. Perhaps before we depart here, or when and if we depart here, we will let you know. But as of now, we have no destination or timetable in mind. As a matter of fact, I may be leaving these lands before sometime in the near future.
Best of luck with you on attempting to leave. I'm sure things will go quite well for you. We ourselves travel in a very similar way. We've enjoyed Good Mead. It's always nice to have ale. I have encountered many of the other 10 towns in these last days. Have been suffering. It seems that their ale is waning, and perhaps we will see a new low for the people of 10 towns.
Well, again, the pleasure was all mine. Nice to meet you again, and thank you for your services. We will meet again. Until then, stay safe and be careful out there. There are.
Travel safe, Eric. I hope I never find you frozen in the ice.
I'll look back at her and say, that is a very, very unlikely situation.
Roll a perception, Ezekiel. When you say that, you're gonna notice that Suffolk was definitely eyeing you in that moment, and I think he's going to approach and start to come forward towards you.
I don't think we actually met him before, did we?
You would have seen him, but at this point, no, you all have not talked to him. He has been very much a very silent person who has sat behind Torga as she accomplishes things.
But his reputation definitely precedes him.
I don't think he necessarily has a reputation so much as you guys have been put on to the fact that he is the person you're looking for.
Okay. I sort of figured like Torga was like well known through the lands and he's like her right hand man. So he would be like very well like known or whatever as well. But okay, that's cool.
No, this is definitely her trading company. Everybody else is like a nameless person.
I got you. Yeah, so when he walks up, does he like greet me or does he just walk up and stand there?
Yeah, I'm trying to interpret that because that was definitely a loaded response that you gave her. He's going to approach you. What? This is basically the next day? No, this is that night. Pardon me, friend. I understand you do not care for any of our wares. But I have the understanding that you are in good standing with these people. Somebody trustworthy and well-natured. Might I? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it depends who you ask. I think overall my reputation is good, and we are in good standing. I would perhaps even consider us friends, as Torga has done for us a great deed, helping to transport the body of a fallen comrade.
Those who are gifted the opportunity to meet Aurel have very little need for the cares of this world. Your comrade is no concern of mine. I mean more your attention that you have given for these people and for their well-being.
Of course, I live to serve. We are here in these lands, and not all are as capable as So, for a reward or some goods, we are glad to perform a service, not to of charity, but to enrich ourselves. It's no offense that we did not find the items we were looking for, but perhaps in time we will meet again and a favorable transaction will arise. Let me ask you, what has sparked your curiosity that you have come over here to speak to us?
Your casual appreciation of the dangers of the tundra. You, for a moment, felt close. He's going to reach out his hand. This is one of the few times you will ever see somebody who's not wearing gloves out of doors. Seem like a friend.
You can tell as much just by looking at me. Interesting. I noticed that. Is he just not wearing gloves? Otherwise, he's like fully armored and looks like someone normally would.
He's still wearing like cloaks and furs, but he's definitely not bundled up like most people.
Like, does he look invulnerable to cold at some level?
Everybody else is bundled up where you can pretty much not see flesh. It's negative 40 degrees out here, which is pretty much where Celsius and Fahrenheit reconverge.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't think I shared any of those specific details with you that you would know that in advance. Well, really, it would have been your other character, but
No, just whether this person looks like they're kind of invulnerable to cold. Anyone having no mitten on is weird.
yes, I see what you mean. I do have a rather warming personality.
And you don't fear the retribution of Our Lady of the Night?
I would not say that I do not fear her. I would say rather that I recognize her power, and that perhaps it is my religion or my beliefs, but I understand that sometimes things are out of our hands, beyond our choice, and that should destiny come searching, you will be hard pressed to escape it.
Destiny of all, to die alone, suffer, and to show joy in what we can serve the needs of our queen.
Of course, Oral is the ruler of these lands, and only a fool would fail to understand her power and control that she has over this place. And I, my friend, am no fool.
And you serve the Frost Maiden.
I was under the impression that everyone in these lands served her by choice or by force.
If you are currently not reaching out to shake his hand, he is going to grab your hand and deglove you.
Oh, if he's like reaching out to shake hands, I'll shake his hand.
Do you have a glove on?
Yeah, I do.
So once you reach out to shake his hand, he's going to go for the same thing. He's trying to deglove you. At that point, I want to contest dexterity.
So just do like a dexterity check.
Yep. You could do. I mean, realistically, you could do an athletics. So yeah, he's gonna pull the glove from your hand. And as he grasps your hand with his hand, you're going to feel a slight stab in your hand. And he's just going to smile. I thought so. Our Lady is strong. Our cause is most important. These lands need those of our kind more than they need the fodder of all these other who pollute this area.
Oh, when you said I feel a stab in my hand, what is that? What do you imply?
Once he lets go of your hand, you can just see like you have a wound on your palm. It's just a very slight cut. Do a perception check. Yeah, I don't think you're going to exactly see what cut you, but you have a pretty solid understanding that he had a knife in his palm and cut you. His hand itself was plenty warm when you shook his hand. Make an intelligence check. Because you already know his MO. Yeah, you have a pretty good understanding that when he shook your hand, he used ice to cut into your hand, and it was a check to see if you felt the cold of the blade that basically would have pierced your hand. And in essence, what he did was just to cut you to confirm that you were a child of Aurel.
I got you. I got you. So, like a normal person probably would have reacted differently there.
Yeah, like a normal person's arm probably would have frozen there, and they would have suffered a lot of damage.
Well, perhaps we have more in common than would appear from the outside. But one of us more discreet than the other.
My task is clear. With the sunless days that continue in this land, there are many who call themselves children of Aurel. But all they are is cattle, too weak to see what she really desires. And with every passing day, they grow and are little more than an abomination to ourselves. Some of these people go so far as to call themselves her children, and to go even further, use it as little more than a way of extorting goods that they will never be able to take into her service.
Clearly, she bestows her blessings on some more than others, but without a doubt, we are all cursed in these lands, or we would not be here.
Her curse has little to do with ourselves. We are free to join her.
Let me ask you this, as I am relatively new to these lands, and have only just arrived more recently. Are you from these parts? Are you born here?
I was lost in these lands many years ago when Torga found me. As far as I know, I have always been here. But I definitely know that without the purpose of oral, I most certainly would have died here, without any memory of where I've come from. And whether you are recently here or not, you too are returning home.
I am from a faraway place and knew somehow, deep down inside, that one day I would end up here. And while the circumstances that have brought me to this place are unfortunate and less than ideal, I knew that one day I would be here. And when I arrived, there would be a purpose for me. I still do not know exactly what this purpose is, but I trust that with each clue, with each footstep through these lands, I am closer to solving this mystery. And perhaps, no, I know that our meeting was not a coincidence, and we will meet again. Let us hope that it is on good terms.
Many of these people are already dead. Do not endanger yourself for lack of seeing the will of Auril come to fruition, for it is we who will inherit these lands.
Let me ask you this, my brother. Are there more like you, like us, that you have come about?
Roll a religion check. Search your heart, and I'm sure you can see that Auril has bestowed power upon us so that we can serve, not so that we can enjoy fellowship. And in essence, what he's telling you is what you already know, that Auril is a god of solitude.
And let me ask you this. Is Do you have a particular purpose? Is there some quest that you wish to fulfill, or a duty to these lands, or to your queen? Or do you just roam and serve yourself and her where you see fit?
I feel like that's a deception.
My first good roll of the session.
Yeah, from me.
I have served Torga for much of my life in recompense for what I have been given of this world. But my purpose here, under the beautiful eye of Oral, and he's going to look up towards the Aurora, is among the profusion of her children. I have shown some of the errors in their way. The corruption of those who would use her will to profit. These people here, they burn wood in sacrifice to her. Others sacrifice their friends. And less sacrifice the bounty of the earth. But in many of these cities, there are those who would charge a fee to be exempt from such things. They themselves pretend that they too are exempt from the will of Aral. I simply serve her reminder that we are all here to die for Aral.
At this point in time, as I kind of just like, as this has been going on for a minute or whatever, like, what's the general melee of like his group? Like, does anybody else seem like alarmed by this like interaction we're having, or like, is everyone still just at ease going about their business? Do people appear to be like clutching their weapons?
Hold up. My bad. That might be already me getting distracted with just your statement. I feel like I definitely forgot to say he was trying to lead you away from everybody. So this would be a very personal conversation between the two of you.
Oh, okay, okay, I got you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just assumed that's why I wasn't like getting involved or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my bad. I feel like I definitely missed actually saying that. But even before the handshake, even the closest that I assume that this would happen is almost near the Shrine of the Flaming Sword.
Okay,
know,
so it's safe to assume that nobody else like heard or knows what we were talking about or anything like that?
You could do an insight check, but I definitely think it's safe to assume that nobody else heard this. The conversation, as long as you're not trying to keep the conversation close or avoid it, he's not doing anything to have this conversation near other people. But yeah, you can definitely, like with that, kind of pick up. Torga likely does not know that his ulterior motive of going around 10 towns and essentially finding children of Aral and killing them. And it's specifically the ones who are basically using everything as a profiteering venture to sell. I think you guys are aware enough that the most of what he is doing is actually killing the people from the three main 10 towns of Targos, Bryn Shindar, and East Haven. He is killing people who sell out of the lottery. So, like the people who sacrifice people, some of them sell tickets that basically get you out of the lottery, and he's killing those people. The people who buy the tickets and the people who sell the tickets. And again, it's because he has, one, a distaste for the children of Aral, because he sees that you are an actual child of Aral. And beyond that, there's those who then profane it even further by taking advantage of it, which to him is an insult to her, because they're essentially like disregarding it even further. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems like he's trying to purge like false prophets or like war profiteers, like oral
Yeah,
profiteers.
false prophet is definitely a good way to say that. And then war profiteering is definitely another way to see that.
Okay, I got you. That's definitely like what I was kind of I just kind of wanted to figure out. Surprise!
Yeah, you guys.
That was like my rolled thing at the beginning of the game.
Oh, is it? Definitely better than mine.
What's this guy's name again?
Greg.
Greg?
What is it, Ugly Greg?
Hey, old Greg.
Oh, Greg, yeah. Yeah, my bad. That was definitely just a psych out from the way you said that to Targa. That was absolutely not planned in the least bit.
Oh no, that worked out perfectly because I was trying to kind of get a feel for him and figure out what was going on, and it worked out perfectly that it sort of went the way it did.
But I think that's also where we are going to stop things here. Is with that. And in general, I still want to get a feel for if you guys have plans to stay in Good Mead and wait for the election. Are you moving on? Like, what do you all have in mind for next week? Where you would like to go? What you would like to do?
How many days before the election?
7 more days.
Could we go somewhere else and come back? I mean, do we care?
Yeah, I mean, I think realistically, we could either go somewhere else and come back, go back and try to like finish off the Giants, or potentially just like fast forward those 5 days, assuming nothing like or whatever days until the election, assuming nothing happens. But I imagine that somehow the election will be some kind of culmination of an event. Like in my head, I do at least.
Yeah, actually, that goes into the psych out of the Suffolk culture thing. At some point here, all of Vesa does actually have, because I want to put this to you guys before, so you have the week and it's not a surprise that all of Vesa at some point is going to approach your party. You guys are all equally not charismatic, and Kansas especially so. So I think on some level, all of Vesa is going to kind of like meet you all for dinner and try to convince either Ezekiel or Faint to retire from adventuring and stay in Good Mead. And she will back you as the town speaker of Good Mead. And that she wants somebody to beat Shandar. Her friends are pushing her to do it. But in particular, she does not feel that it's something for her to do. She's just old and kind of like likes where she's at in life. But she's going to look to you all and see if one of you would like to rise to that occasion.